Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out with Conor Benn. Conor, you've been out for a long time, 9 months almost on the shelf, but you're back next week at the O2. Rematch victory over Cedric Payno, which is a bit of a high note to go out on. Just tell us why we haven't seen you for such a long time.
Well, during my final sparred 36 minutes straight with Joe Cordina on the Friday before fight week, and in the last minute, in like the last 30 seconds, I'd done my hand and tore the tendon and the pocket bag underneath the tendon. But
how did that happen? Did you hit his hip or something like that?
No, I hit his head. What do you mean? I hit his hip.
Sometimes boxers injure their hands when they turn it on their body shot.
No, I hit him in the head, and I felt my hand go. But obviously, my adrenaline was going in the spar, so I didn't really stop. I pulled it back a bit, and then looked down at my hand, and my hand was swollen. And I thought, do you know what? I ain't gonna let this play on my mind. I've had an unbelievable camp, the best camp I've had to date, and I thought I'll beat this guy with my left hook. I've knocked more people out with my left hook than I have my right hand, so I thought, let's go for it. And on the fight week, on the Tuesday, I had it injected with cortisone because I could feel it on pads, like getting a bit sore, and it was swelling up, and then the cortisone done nothing, and then I injected it with cortisone again on the Thursday. Done nothing because I could still feel the pain, and the reason why the cortisone done nothing was because there was nothing there to protect. You see the knuckle, you got that covering the knuckle, well that was hanging over here and the bag underneath it, so when I was punching it was just the knuckle. And come fight night, I come to fight, and he switched southpaw, which threw me off for the first 3-4 rounds, completely threw me off.
And a key punch against the southpaw is obviously the right hand.
Exactly my point. So I've messed everything up a little bit because we've been working on the slip counters, and it sort of threw me off for the first 4 rounds. That took me a while to get into it. As soon as I figured it out, started throwing the right hand. My adrenaline was going. Didn't even feel the pain in my hand. Maybe a little bit, but I weren't. I needed to do what needed to be done. So I was like, there goes the left hook. So then I put him down 3 times with the right hand, right straight to the sternum, and right straight to the head, and then a right hook in one of the rounds.
Was it hurting when you were landing your shots?
A little bit, I could feel it. I definitely thought, when I realised he'd switched southpaw and realised that the backhand was what was going to do the damage, I thought, no, I've messed it. And then in the public media workout, it was orthodox. So, I've had so many curveballs thrown at me. So many curveballs, and thank God I've overcome every single one of them.
Well, you were ill, weren't you, before the first Payno fight? Obviously, you just come back from America and you had a real sickness problem.
You're going to show the reaction. Oh, it was terrible. I've seen
the pictures.
And then you've got to think to yourself, I've gone on 10 hard rounds with him, got hit maybe just as much, and didn't have a mark on me. I think my face came up because of the allergy. That's honestly what I think. I weren't right to fight. I come back, I was jet lagged, had Reebok requirements, photo shoots, I had like a week's worth of photo shoots for Reebok, and then another 2 weeks I was fighting. But I didn't plan on fighting again, so I've gone and stuffed my face with Dunkin' Donuts out in America. Listen, mate, I was yamming them Dunkin' Donuts. I bought like a pack of 6 for the flight back, and I yammed all the 6, gone, finished, like see you later, and so no, don't touch my donuts, mate. Otherwise, I'll go another 10 rounds right now. So no, it was all just a big mess up. But I learnt from that. Now I'm glad that chapter's closed. I'm glad I can move on with my career. Push on. It's been a long 10 months. I've been 18 months spent out on my career because of injury. And it's a blessing.
Did you have to have surgery on the hand?
Yeah, I had first surgery. The cortisone messed with the healing process, so it all come undone. And then I had to have a second surgery, and boy was it painful to have time out that long. But I've changed, my life's changed, massively. Got a missus, moving to our first home together. She's my fiance. So I've had I've worked on myself outside the ring, which is important. So important, because come fight night, if you're not right in yourself, you're not going to be right. And it's young for a 22-year-old to come into all this and then be okay, mentally be okay. sleep in peace. You know, and that was hard for me, you know, not being with my family and X, Y, Z that I had to deal with, that now I'm learning to deal with.
She must have been a great help to you, especially being out for nearly 9 months, to have someone close in your life that could support you.
Definitely. When I broke my jaw, I had that bad press come out about something I'd said that I didn't mean, and that was the same time I broke my jaw, and I was proper unwell. I was in a proper bad way, because I'm like, how am I going to go my whole career without messing up? And you know, I felt so bad for what I said, but I didn't mean it in that way, and I'm trying to, and then I got my broken jaw, and then I'm like all over the gaff, and then my mind started going mad. Whereas now this time round, I've learnt that it's because I'm not active that my mind might start overthinking things and thinking this and thinking that. So, you know, it's all about maturing and growing, you know, inside and outside the ring. Like, hopefully you guys will see a great performance come fight night, a more mature performance, April 20th, because that's what I've been working on, more mature mentally in the ring, you know, ring craft. You know, it's not something that you just go, bang, yeah, unbelievable fighter, ready for a world title. You know, it's not with your background, bang, he's ready. No, it don't work that way. If it did, then I'd be very happy and I'd be very well off. But it don't work that way. It takes hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to perfect your craft. I'm not just going to become the greatest chef in the world in 3 years. It takes years of crafting and perfecting it.
Given the personal growth that you've experienced, do you feel you're now in a position to maybe help some of the younger fighters coming through who are in a similar position to you, like especially with the mental aspect and being able to cope with everything?
100%. I think mental health is really a thing, you know. I don't like using the word anxiety and depression and fear and worry, because sometimes people use it as a way out. But it does exist, I can tell you that right now. Why am I getting anxious or worried or nervous or fearful, scared of what the future holds? Why am I worrying? Why am I scaring? Why am I getting scared? Because everything that I was worried about last year didn't even happen this year, and it means it's taken away from what I have in front of me. If I'm worried about everything I have, then what's the point of having it? If there's no enjoyment in having it because you're so worried about the next step. Take each day as it comes. You know, not saying I ever suffered from this and that. No, it's not what I'm saying. But is it easy for my mind to go in a depressive state thinking, oh, reading that comment and that comment and that comment? Of course it is. Of course it is. So I don't understand these people, why they I never will understand. But at the end of the day, I've got to accept that not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone's going to, you know, want to be your friend. No, I don't really have friends anyway, but not everyone's going to want to be your friend. Not everyone's going to want to like you. Not everyone's going to like...
I'm sure you've got some friends.
I've got about 3 friends. Like, no joke. You hear everyone say, oh, I've got 3 friends and, you know, I don't go out, and then they've got videos of them out in a nightclub with like 100 mates. No, I'm not that guy. You know, I'm not that far from that guy, because at the end of the day, and I thank God I haven't hit rock bottom, but if I was to hit rock bottom, who would be there? And then if those people aren't there that I spend most of my time with, well, then that was time wasted. And there's nothing more, you know, worse than time wasted with the wrong people. You know, so I've got my fiance that I'm more like so glad I met her at the beginning of my career, and when I turned, as soon as I had my debut. And I thought that was a really important thing for me, was to meet someone early on in my career, you know, because then I didn't have to question why she's in my life. And, you know, she's lived with me, she works for me, she's my PA. She was my fiance before my PA. So she went my PA first. She's my fiance first.
Understood.
Yeah, and then my PA. So that's how that one worked. And then she lived with me, never come, and I never wanted her to leave. And
what's her name?
Victoria.
Feel she deserved a bit of a shout out.
She does deserve a bit of a shout out. You know, she's helped me. She really has helped me. Like, she's so mellow-hearted, and I think for every fighter, you need a good woman, because they will drive you mad. You need a good woman, and
or man if you're that way inclined.
Whichever way, yes, whichever one you know, your preference. You know, so you need a, you know, someone stable in your life who can help you. When I'm going, Vic, I really don't know if I can do this. I just had a pasting in the gym, you know, dieting. I'm scared, Vic. I'm nervous. What if I don't do this? What if I don't do that? Babe, you're the greatest. We ain't got to worry. You're the greatest. You're the baddest. You're the baddest mofo on the planet. You know, and I go to church every Sunday. You know, it just gives me a good moral base, foundation. You know, it's not in my hands. I do what I can do, but then the rest is out of my control.
What do you talked about some of the negative comments you get, presumably a lot of that's on social media. What have you learned over time to do about that to make sure you're happy and balanced? Do you just ignore social media? Have you learned to accept that a lot of the people attacking you probably have their own issues? Or how have you come to terms with it?
I don't know, I pulled up the Tesco's the other day and I looked at a lady in the car next to me and she started going mad. And I done down my window and I went, oh, what's up? What? Why are you looking at me like that? What? Have I done something? You're the one part like an effing idiot. And I thought, blimey. Like, it's like 8 in the morning. I thought, bloody hell. And, you know, and I was just so shocked. But you get, and you know, that person is one of many who have access to social media, who type rubbish. You know, so, and then I think, okay, well, if you're telling me, you don't know who I was, obviously. Sorry, just spat on the mic. Yeah. So, you know, and then you think, these people are going to comment now. I've had people say, oh, you're never going to be world champion, never going to be this. Maybe not for you. Maybe not for you. That's why you're a, whatever it is that you dread getting up in the morning to do. You dread getting up in the morning to do, but you have no other choice because that's your attitude and your outlook on life. It's not my fault, that's your attitude. I feel sorry for you. So that's the way I look at it. I feel sorry that you feel the need to comment that at 8 in the morning when you should be spending time with your kids, or you should be going to the job you love, or you should be X, Y, Z, but you're not. You're sitting on my timeline waiting to comment rubbish. Well, I feel sorry for them, innit?
But the key question we have to ask, how was your parking?
Parking was actually alright. The car beside me was parked a little bit dodgy, so that made me a little bit dodgy, but still enough room for her to park.
As we talked about, you're back next week. Big comeback fight. You'll be looking to make an impression. No opponent's been confirmed yet. What's the plan for the rest of the year? You've talked a lot about the British title.
Oh, definitely. Let's get this fight out of the way, which is important because, you know, obviously there might be room rust, there might not. You know, so we just got to make sure that I perform the best I can come fight night, and we'll go from there. You know, with me, I've had my career's gone like that. Way. You know, so take each fight as it comes. Would love to fight for the British title this year. You've got to remember, I'm only 22. Big domestics, definitely. Defend my WBA Continental title a few times this year as well, and see where this journey takes me. I'm open for anything. I'm still, you know, interested in a fight with Garton. You know, although he ain't got a British title.
Seems like a bit of a bromance between you and Garton now.
No, not.
Seems very friendly.
He's a cool guy. There's not a bad word to say about Garton, and I'm just taking everything in my stride. I'll have as many learning fights as I can. Everyone wants to try and rush me. You got all these other fighters who are 27, 28, 29 fighting 50-year-old men. Like loads of people in the UK doing that, and I'm 22, no amateur background, and still got a lot of learning to do, and people are going, oh, have this, have that. No, take my time.
I think what a lot of people find hard to deal with, and this is no fault of your own, is that you are 22, you had no amateur background, you are still learning, all of that's true. But a lot of the other guys in your position that are learning aren't doing it on TV every time and aren't doing it in prominent positions on Sky shows. So that's not your fault. The promoter wants to feature you, and that's great, but that's why a section of the critics are saying it, I guess.
But people turn up to watch me fight. Yeah. It's not like they're putting me on and I'm having boring fights, otherwise they won't put me on. They won't put me on. My fights have been more entertaining than some GB fighters. My fights have had standing ovations. My last fight at the O2, there was literally, you know, the 15,000 there screaming my name. It was crazy. I could not believe it. I stood there like that, thinking, wow, I've been in the game 2 minutes. And no one would turn up if I was a boring fighter. People wouldn't turn up just for the name. People know I fight from the heart. People know I fight with my heart on my sleeve. And, you know, when everything else goes out the window, that's all I got, and that's all I got to show.
Did you ever wish you were building under the radar, just purely because you wouldn't get the same level of vitriol that you get on social media and stuff? You might still get a lady screaming at you in the car park because that had nothing to do with it, but, you know, you wouldn't get so many online critics.
You learn to deal with it, I guess. you learn to deal with it. I remember when I first turned over, there was no critics, none. And the more known you get, the more critics you'll get, the more love you'll get. You know, you're going to get the critics. It is what it is. But who listens to why would I listen to the opinion of a professional HGV driver? What does he know?
Probably part better.
No, I don't know about that. Maybe.
No, but I'll take your point. All right, well, we wish you the very best of luck next week. Hope it all goes to plan. No injuries next week or anything like that. And we look forward to continuing to watch the journey as it unfolds.
Really appreciate that. Thank you.